So I'm making this video because I'm super fucking irritated, and I figured, hey, this is exactly the right time actually to make this video. I went to Burger King because they have my favorite fries, and I was like, just want a thing of fries, and it literally took fucking 15 minutes to get fucking one thing of fries, and it was just a fucking shit show. I was boxed in, and there was only one car from me, so I was like, why the fuck is this taking so long? But anyways, I was like, when I was in there, I was like, oh my god, this is literally the moon in Aries. Aries. So I think I was like, breathe. And this would be a perfect time to actually talk about what it's like to have this placement and what it means. Because there are a lot of moon and Aries videos out there on YouTube, but I feel like they don't cover some of what it's like personally to have this placement. And I think pretty much for all the astrology videos I do, they're only going to be talking about placements that I personally have, because I think I'm better able to explain them if I have obviously experience with that. So yeah, moon in Aries, your moon. Everybody knows what the moon is, but it's your emotions, it's your mom, it's your past lives, it's your interior self, how you feel about things. But I think the biggest thing that isn't covered a lot of times is your moon is how you react to things, and especially how you react to things in your day-to-day life. And it's your emotional needs, also what you need emotionally. And this is such a huge topic, I feel like it could be a 20-minute video, so I'm gonna try and keep it down. But first thing, the moon in Aries, we have a very mercurial energy. Aries is the god of war. He is, it's actually interesting, in Greek times, he wasn't worshipped so much because he had bloodlust. So once he started going on a rampage, it was very hard for him to stop. So moon and Aries people can have a very quick temper. Like, we can blow up like a volcano, but like lava, we can cool down just as quickly. And this can be really intense for people, because we live in a polite society where anger is bad or whatever, and most people don't express it. But a moon and Aries person has to express their aggression. They have to express it. It's not like, if you will, it's not like, oh, you should, learn how to ignore it or whatever, or pretend it's not there. No, if a moon and Aries person does not express their aggression, this has happened to me and I've seen it happen, they will get severely depressed. Their aggression is part of who they are naturally. It's not always a bad thing. It's an energy of movement. It's keeping things going. It is exploding at times, but it's also cooling down and learning from that. A volcano, people think of it as a very destructive thing, but it creates new land. It is a very creative process, and so many cultures worship the gods and goddesses of volcanoes, like Pele, because she's a very creative force. And if an Aries is not allowed to honor their aggression, they will get severely depressed. Physically, mentally, emotionally, it's just not healthy. And I think a big challenge of the moon and Aries person is to realize that their aggression isn't necessarily a bad thing, even though everybody else tries to tell you it is. But learning how to work and flow with that energy, and allowing yourself to be with people who can accept you for your aggression and realize that it's in the moment. A lot of Aries people, when they explode, they're doing it in the moment, and it's not an attack on the person, it's an attack on the situation, if that makes any sense. And that's not to excuse like cussing people out or freaking out or whatever, but it is to explain that energy is eruptive, and it feels like you have to get it out. And for a moon and Aries person, I would highly suggest physical exercise, sweating, high cardio, weightlifting, anything to like really get your anger out, because the anger is so overwhelming. It's like a rage. I wouldn't even call it an anger. Moon and Aries people can have rage. And it's like, I will murder you. I will fucking kill you. Like, you know, and it's like that Aries energy, the god of war energy. It's blind. It strikes out. It lashes out. It destroys, and you have to learn how to honor that energy, so that it can be healthy in your life. So, I guess that's the first thing, the aggression. Secondly, what's funny, I think, about Moon Aries people is that we hate it when people leave an argument and just disappear. Where it's like you need some people, especially a partner in your life, who's going to sit there and battle it out with you. If you are pounding on the car dashboard, screaming your head off, like, you need a partner who's not going to just like run away or not deal with the conflict. You really need a grounded person who isn't afraid of that type of energy, but also knows how to handle it. Because an Moon and Aries person, you need the resolution to the conflict. It's very important for everyone, but especially for that placement, because we don't like things to be unfinished and not completed. I think that's a huge element of this placement, and I think it's super important to honor that. Third, speaking of containing that, I think Moon and Aries people, their energy is so mercurial that they can have a really hard time grounding. And it's funny because one of the worst things for a Moon and Aries person that they hate, probably number one above all things, is feeling trapped. And that is very dangerous for a Moon and Aries person because their energy is so fast moving that they're like, you know, and they can be very impulsive. And that impulsivity is funny because it can lead to you being put in situations where you feel like you're trapped. So it's this kind of duality where you have to learn how to not slow down your energy, but ground your energy in actual outcomes and thinking ahead a little bit faster, using that really mercurial, fast, gotta go energy to also thinking, what is 3 steps ahead? What is 4 steps ahead? Because we are super fast in the moment, but it's not always as easy for us to plan out 6 steps ahead. And that's, I think, why, side note, like Aries and Athena in Greek culture were the gods of war, but it was funny because Athena usually won the battles when she encountered with Aries, and she usually was victorious, not because she was necessarily stronger, actually, but because she had the ability to, like, foresight 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps ahead, whereas Aries was like, I'm just killing bitches left and right in the moment, just bloodlust and being very intense in the moment, but not putting thought into the steps ahead. So I would say a Moon and Aries person, it's awesome that you're so fast and reactive, but you need to learn how to place that energy into thinking, how do I put my energy into future thought also, so that I know what are the consequences of this fast moving action, if that makes any sense. Lastly, I mean, I guess this is kind of, I'm trying to keep it below 10. We are at 9 minutes. Moon and Aries people often like really rough sex. To be honest, kind of like often enjoy biting, clawing, wrestling, kind of scratching, things that are very like primal. I would say it's funny because if you've ever watched lions having sex or like any big cat species, it can look very violent at times and very like get at it, you know. And I would say a lot of Moon and Aries people enjoy this type of sexual energy. We it's a very competitive placement. So even in the bedroom, I think sexuality can be very raw, and I think it's super important to honor that, but also find people who are into that flavor, because a lot of people don't like that and don't like pain and stuff like that. A lot of Moon and Aries people have kind of a sadomasochistic bent sometimes with pain and pleasure. We like things that hurt to some degree, and like that kind of, yeah, that rawness of it all. So anyways, I guess to wrap this all up, kind of conclusion, blah, 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 bring it all together. I think it's super important for a Moon and Aries person to not be afraid of their own power. It's a very, it's the ultimate fire sign in some way, like fire archetype energy, because it brings your emotions to a new level of like extreme catharsis and fiery, the best parts of the fire element. But it's super important that you not try to snuff that fire out, but you learn how to like channel it and control it, because it can burn down houses. It can, really cause a lot of destruction. But it also can be a very beautiful, powerfully creative thing. And Moon Aries people are great artists. They're great musicians. They're great, orators. They're great, like performers. And I think it's like that need to like be a verb, that needs to be honored. And when a Moon and Aries person finds someone that can really challenge them and help them grow and learn how to control that, it's a beautiful thing. And yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments or are curious about more of this type of energy, please leave me a comment below and hit the subscribe button, because I would love to meet up and talk about astrology with like-minded people. So thanks so much, you guys. I will check you on the flip side. Peace.